Off another winning preseason and our only play so far this week, Green Bay over as a wise guy play on Thursday night. Joe Duffy's picks with at least 2 wise guy plays and 3 major plays for Sunday. We're still researching the card. It's inclusive in the price. The NFL specialist, top NFL handicapper since 1988, publicly. Joe Duffy's picks now at offshoreinsiders.com, www.offshoreinsiders.com. And now, breaking week 1 betting news and notes from the clipboard of offshoreinsiders.com. Let's start out with the Jaguars and the Eagles. Jaguars used the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft on quarterback Blake Bortles, but the team's going to be patient with him. They also signed in free agency Toby Gerhart to be the team's running back. That replaces Maurice Jones-Drew. Last year, Jacksonville ranked near the bottom of just about every offensive category in the world. Philadelphia last year improved throughout the season defensively as far as the numbers are concerned, and they return a lot of young players. Michael Kendricks, Fletcher Cox, Cedric Thornton, Brandon Boykin. Also, Malcolm Jenkins enters the team at safety, giving them some depth. Philadelphia ran the ball 47% of the time last season, the best running attack in the league. LaShawn McCoy behind a very athletic offensive line amassed 1,607 yards. McCoy now has a backup, Darren Sproles. He's very dangerous in space. He's expected to be used more as a receiver than a runner. Nick Foles coming off a season which he threw 27 touchdown passes, just 2 interceptions, 3rd best passer rating in NFL history. Jaguars overhauled their receiving core, spending 2 second-round picks on Marquez Lee and Penn State product Allen Robinson returning to the area. Robinson was hurt much of the preseason. Cecil Shorts had a team-high 66 catches last year. He leads that wide receiving crew. The Bills and the Bears. Bills' number 3 receiver Marquez Wilson is out, bumping veteran San Antonio Holmes into that spot. Bears revamped their defensive line. They added Jared Allen, Willie Young, and Lamar Houston in free agency. Also drafted tackles Will Sutton and Ego Ferguson. Now, throughout the preseason, the entire group has not performed much together. And they haven't performed well. Buffalo Bills receiver Sammy Watkins is probable with a rib injury, although he started out the week slowly in practice. Bills struggled throughout the preseason due to shoddy play at quarterback. Chicago's revamped defense didn't inspire much confidence either. But Jay Cutler, of course, has those weapons. Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall. A lot of reports say that he has matured. Meanwhile, E.J. Manuel played in all 5 preseason games and didn't prove that he progressed anywhere since last year. Panthers and the Buccaneers. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton is probable, but he'll be wearing a flap jacket. Quarterback Cam Newton was hit 437 times the past 3 seasons. Very significant. No one was hit more than 230 times. He has accounted for 31.2% of Carolina's offense since being selected. The Buccaneers, through free agency, have strengthened already one of the league's best defensive fronts, anchored by Pro Bowler Gerard McCoy. Now, for the Saints and the Falcons, the linebacking crew is especially thin with Sean Weatherspoon out for the year, but Atlanta did add Devin Hester. Raiders and the Jets, big story there. David Carr starts a quarterback for the Raiders. He had a sizzling 105.2 passer rating on 45 throws. Patriots and the Dolphins, by the way, we're going to tell you, a couple of games we mentioned are already premium plays for Joe Duffy's picks. Among 5 winners that are already up for Sunday, we continue to research. Joe Duffy's picks, widely accepted as the top NFL sports service in the world. Patriots and the Dolphins, Rob Gronkowski will likely start at tight end for New England. He has 42 touchdowns in 50 career preseason games. He provides a big matchup problem for Miami. Dolphins linebackers are among the most inconsistent groups on the team. And, of course, he was Tom Brady's favorite target in the red zone. Entire Patriots roster practice this week, so they should be pretty healthy. Vikings and the Rams, after nearly 4 months of evaluation, handful of injuries, and the release of 2 veterans, the Vikings still apparently have not settled on a starting safety opposite of Harrison Smith. Chargers and the Cardinals, Phillip Rivers is the straw that stirs the drink for the Bolts offense. He is the comeback player of the year last year, but he'll have an arsenal of potent weapons at his disposal, led by future Hall of Famer Antonio Gates, as well as Keenan Allen, Malcolm Floyd, Eddie Royal, Ladarius Green, just to name a few. Running, they've got a nice three-headed monster, Ryan Matthews, Danny Woodhead, and Donald Brown, so a lot of balance for San Diego, a lot of weapons. One of the finest receivers of the past decade, Larry Fitzgerald, leads an explosive offense that relies heavily on the cannon of Carson Palmer. Now, San Diego did add to the practice squad Ryan Lindley, who spent all of last season in the preseason with the Cardinals, so maybe he knows their playbook pretty well. Arizona off a great year on defense, but linebackers Carlos Dansby left in free agency. Linebacker Darrell Washington was suspended for the year. Defensive tackle Darnell Dockett was lost for the year. Bengals and the Ravens. The Ravens added some clutch receivers to their offense with wide receiver Steven Smith and a youthful centerpiece of the defense in first-round pick C.J. Mosley. Bengals lost both of their coordinators to head coaching positions. They also parted ways with their leading rusher and top pass rusher in Michael Jackson, left in free agency. Major news for the Ravens this offseason with the suspension, of course, of running back Ray Rice. Bernard Pierce is going to make his second career start for a Ravens ground game that looks strong in the preseason. Pierce's running style, ideal fit for the one-cut scheme of new offensive coordinator Gary Kubiak. You're going to probably see a more aggressive Cincinnati offense this year. They, of course, signed Andy Dalton, who completed 53.9% of his passes against the Ravens for 1,459 yards, an average of just 243 per game. Thrown for 6 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Basically, the only team he's only slightly better than Brandon Whedon's numbers were against the Ravens. Whedon, widely considered to be one of the worst starting quarterbacks in recent memory, and it is Dalton's second worst quarterback rating against any team. 49ers and the Cowboys. The Cowboys do add Pro Bowl defensive tackle Henry Melton. He is hoped to be ready for the Cowboys, but of course, they always seem to have some question marks. Home underdogs in week 1 of 3.5 or more, 41-29 against the spread. But the 49ers now lost a season opener under coach Jim Harbaugh, but they will be without 3 of their better defenders and linebacker Alden Smith, Navarro Bowman, and Glenn Dorsey. Tight ends 8, Dallas alive last year. Vernon Davis for San Fran is one of the best. Power more than 620 sports services behind each and every play. The Master Lock Line will have the top picks in this and some other games. The Master Lock Line plays are exclusively at offshoreinsiders.com, www.offshoreinsiders.com.